We're just trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid today's daf. Okay, today's daf. You gotta take off your shoes so you can have your toes to help you count. Okay, that's really what that's what it requires. Okay, let's see. So Toner Rabbanon. Yeah, we're on Lamed Daled Amud Aleph. Toner Rabbanon. Yeah. So now, basically, for this daf and the next daf, there's going to be all sorts of calculations over how much is one required to pay. Meaning, we know. So there's just as a background, sure, there's a tam and a muad, right? So that everyone, of course, has different nuances of what the halachas are and what the halachas are not. So tam only pays half damages, but only migufay, right? Meaning, you only take the payment from the animal that gored, but that's it, right? And you have to a muad, you can pay from anything. So and a tam, basically, we're going to have a machlokes. Well, first we have till the Mishnah, and then after the Mishnah, we're going to have a machlokes exactly how you split how much it is. Meaning, whatever the damages were, the guy that got damaged only gets half. Right? So it's all going to be about how you calculate it. And let's say you have one shor that's worth more than the other shor, and it gores it. Okay, we'll see. But that's basically what it's going to be dependent. So Tanur Rabbanan, shor shava masayim. You have a shor that's worth 200. Shenoga shor shava masayim. So it's a wash. They're both worth 200. And it beat it up, whatever, it damaged it 50 zuz. Right? Then what happened is that the price of meat went up, right? Because they were putting it into the cholent, so they can get a lot more money for the. That was a joke based on the last couple of days of the price of cholent in a certain grocery store. But anyways, so again, one shor worth 200, gored another shor worth 200, and it did 50 worth of damage. So now the shor is only worth 150. Then the price of meat shot up. So now this animal, which was worth 200, was damaged, so it's down to 150. Now went up, and now it's worth 400. Shel Malay. So it's a question of whether you should say loy or not, but basically what it means, Shel Malay. If it would not have been damaged, it would be worth 800 zuz. Okay, so now you can just figure out what the nizik is going to say. The nizik's going to say, you cost me by your shor damaging, even though you really only did 50 worth of damage, but really you cost me a whole lot more, because really this shor would be worth 800. But at the end of the day, at the time of the damage, all he did was 50 worth of damage, right? So how much does he have to pay? So noisin kashas hanezik, the guy who's owned the shor gives it like the time of the damage, which means half of 50, right? Because the loss was 50, he has to give 25, right? That's scenario number one. Even though the price went up through the roof, doesn't make a difference. Even though he cost the guy 400, doesn't make a difference. You go with what was the damage at the time of the damage, and the damage at that time was 50. If it got decayed, if it went the other way around, and the shor became worth way less than 150, then it goes kishas hamada b'din, meaning that's also bad for the nizik, because it goes with when you bring it to Bezdin. So let's say he did the 50 of damage, so now the shor was worth 150. Then it took a few days to get the appointment by Bezdin. By the time they got to Bezdin, the shor was worth another 50 less. So now, if you go with that, now the guy did 100 worth of damage, right? Not 50, right? So therefore, I'm sorry. So this works for the nizik actually. It goes b'shas kishas hamada b'din, right? And therefore, it's a larger damage. He's going to get paid back more money. Shavach mazik. But what happens if the animal that belonged to the mazik went up, right? Noisin like kishas hanezik. So then he also pays him at the time of the damage, right? Meaning the short time that did the goring went up, because we said initially it was 200. Now it went up to 400, right? So now he has to pay back half of the damage, which is going to be 25, right? Meaning the what do you call it could say, what the nizik would say, what do you mean? That shor, because again, he gets his payment. Where does he take the payment from? This is what's important to understand. His payment comes from the shor that gored, right? So the shor that gored now is worth double. So he should be getting half of from what the shor that was gored was worth, right? So therefore he should be getting more. So we say no, doesn't go like that, because he gets paid from the shas hanezik from the damage. Kochash, but if the shor that got damaged went down in price, kishas hamada bedin, then he also pays only kishas hamada bedin, right? And which means that it went down, when it went down in price, it went down in price of the person who damaged it. So this sounds like this is all going according to Rabbi Kiva. Again, remember yesterday we had a machlokes, Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Shmuel, over whose rishus does the animal go into. Rabbi Shmuel, let's say the animal stays in the damager's rishus, and Rabbi Kiva says no, it immediately goes into the damagee's rishus. So there can be an advantage and a disadvantage to this thing. Okay, so that's the case. So Amar Mar, Shevach mazik noisim kishas hanezik. If it goes up, so then the meaning if the worth of the damaging shor went up, so you pay for how much it was worth at the time of the damage. So who's that like? Money, Rabbi Shmuel. That's like Rabbi Shmuel, right? Who holds that at the time of the damage, it's still in the property of the mazik, even after that, right? So money, Rabbi Shmuel, the Amar Baal Chayiv, who he's just a Baal Chayiv, Rezuzahu the mazik, and he has to pay him back money, right? So since he's a Baal, so he has to pay him back the chayiv at the time of the damage, not at the time of what it was worth. The shas, the gemar din. Okay, but ema seifa, kishas hamada b'din. But if the animal that gores went down in price, so then you go the way it is b'shas hamada b'din. So who's that like? Asan Rabbi Kiva. That's not Rabbi Kiva. The Amar Shutfeininu, that they're considered partners, and therefore, since they're partners, they both are on the hook for this thing paying less, for this thing being worth less. So when I ask, Reisha Rabbi Shmuel b'Sefer Rabbi Kiva, are you going to say that the Reisha of this price is Rabbi Shmuel and the Sefer is Rabbi Kiva? So my answer is like Kulu Rabbi Kiva, the whole price is Rabbi Kiva. We're talking about where the guy, reason why his ox went up in price, he made it fat, right? He pumped it with food, right? So therefore, since he pumped it with food, and it cost him, so therefore he does not have to share the profit with the guy that he damaged, right? So that's what. So I don't know a specific case, but really, otherwise, it's according to Rabbi Kiva, he would have to share some of the profit. So when it says Ikesh Pitmu, if it's somewhere where he made it fat himself, Emaratius, and then what about the first case? Shavach va'amad al dala meyazuz. If the animal that was damaged went up in price, and it went up from 200 zuz or 150 zuz after the damage to 200 zuz, then he gives it nice and like a nezek. He gives it like at the time when it was damaged. And ikashapitmu tzricha l'meimar. If it's talking about where the guy himself made it fat, do you need to say that it goes when it was damaged? He made it fat himself. Why should the guy that damaged it lose out? So Papa, Reisha Mishkachas LaBain the Pitma Betume Bain the Shacha Mamela. The Reisha, where we're talking about where the animal that got damaged went up in price, so that applies whether it was fattened or whether it just went up by itself. Yitzchak Lashmina, the Chiddush needs to tell us is the Heichud the Shamcha Mamela, where it went up by itself, nice and like Kishasa Nezek, the damager only has to give it the price that it was worth when it was damaged, not later on. Seifa loy mishkachas le'elukishapava. But the seifa, where the price, where the worth of the animal that damaged went up, so then that's um, that's the only way to learn it is if when the guy fed it himself. Fine. So then I'm going to ask, Kochash Kashas Amada Bedin, if it went and it got decayed, so we go Kishas Hamada Bedin, right? Kochash Machmas Mai, how did it go down in price? If the guy did work with it, lay malay. So let him say, let the mazik say, at makhashas v'ano yehibna. You're working with this animal, right? When the damage was done, there was 50 zuz of damage. So I'm going to give you 25. Now you went and took an animal that was injured and you started working with it. So now it's only worth 100. Why should I have to suffer that? You shouldn't have worked with it, right? So meaning so then what exactly is it that caused it to go down? So Ravashi, the kochash machas maka. No, it went down in price because of the maka that happened from the animal. Where the nizik can say, Karna de Tura, Kvirave, the horn of your shar is buried in my shar. The reason why it keeps going down in price is because your shar is one that damaged my shar. Okay, so therefore, basically, it seems like the Gemara is passing like Rabbi Kiva, where the shar is automatically transferred into the nizik's rishus. However, if the guy fattens it up himself, then that doesn't become part of the calculation. Okay, we'll see more.
Is this only when the nizik's cow does not die? It's only a makkah. Because if it dies, we said chas nevela de nizik from a drasha.
What do you say?
If the nizik's animal would have died, and we're talking about the price of meat, we said in the first parak, I think on Yud Aleph, that everyone holds chas nevela de nizik. The nizik takes the loss if the animal loses value after it's killed until it gets to Bezdin. And everyone agrees to that.
Yeah.
So this is only when it's still alive.
The chayra, it sounds like that. No? I wasn't sure. Why can't it be the meat prices go up?
Because then pitba, well, yeah, I don't know. But the pchas has to be, the two cases of the pchas of the nizik and the pchas of the mazik, are both when it's alive. Pchas of the mazik is pitma, he fattened it.
I'm saying, what happens if there's a meat shortage and all of a sudden it goes up from that?
But if pchas nevela the nizik, then shvach nevela is kol shekain the nizik.
Right. I hear. I don't know. Not sure. Okay. But I think you're right. Sounds like you're right. Okay, sure. What was Akiva? Tonight is Akiva's he should be giving the daf. Right? We need an accountant for tonight's stuff. Yeah. Anyway, Dr. Mishnah. Sure,
Jacob, I'm thinking this would be a good Yomi Goodman daf.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Okay, so Shor Shavah Masayim. We haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg with the calculations yet. Shor Shavah Masayim, Shanoga Shor Shavah Masayim. That's pretty easy, right? Each one is worth 200. Ve'ena Navela Yofe Klum, but the carcass is worthless, right? Somer Meir Al Zen Namar. This is what the pasuk says. Machru es Hashor Hachai. This is talking about when a tam gores. It says you sell the shor that's alive. The chotzu es kaspa. Take half of the money from the shor that you sell, right? Because again, here it's 200 and 200, so they're both worth the same. Baruch Hashem, the Mishnah is not getting involved in cases where one's worth 100 and the other one's worth 50, and then you have to start cheshboning exactly the fee, which animal, and that. The Mishnah and Rachmanis. It's 200 and 200 straight up, right? You damaged the one that was 200, and it's worth 0 now. So that means that the guy owes him 100 because he has to pay half the damages. That half of the damages comes out from the shore that damaged. The damage, right? The shore that damaged, yes, right? The shore that damaged, right? So what do? You sell it. So it says, you sell the live shore and you split the money, right? And that's where you kind of the pasuk. Somebody reviewed the chain halachi, or he says, yes, that is the halacha. That's what you have to do. But he says, but kiyamtu machras ashara chai v'chatzu es kasvei. You makayim the pasuk that says you sell the live shore, you split the money. But like kiyamtu v'gama meis yaktzum. But you were not makayim, right? And what about the dead one? You have to split because that's the end of the pasuk. You also split the dead one, right? So how you be makayim that here? The dead one is worthless. So then, what would be the case to be makayim the pasuk? I'm sorry, ve'ezeh, what is it? Zeh, shor shova masayim, shenogav shor shova masayim. So far, so good. And the carcass is worth 50. So how do we crunch the numbers? So if it's worth 50, they sell it. The damager gets half, so he gets 25. And the damagee, we'll call it the damagee, gets half, he gets 25. You also sell the shore that did the goring for 200. So now, and each one of them gets 100. So basically, each one is left with 125, right? Each one had a shore worth 200, and now they end up with 125, right? Pretty straightforward. This one takes half of the live one and half of the dead one. And this one takes half the live one and half the dead one. Right? Okay, that's pretty simple. Now the Gemara goes and explains the machlokes. If a shor that was worth 200 gourd, a shor that was worth 200, and the nevela was worth 50 zuz. This one takes half the live one and half the dead one. And this one takes half of the live one, half of the dead one. And that is the shor that the Torah is talking about. They reviewed it, right? That's exactly what reviewed this in the Mishnah. That's not the shor that the Torah is referring to. That's what we're talking about. So in that case, you sell the shor that's alive, and you take half and you give it to the guy who got damaged. So then, what am I going to do with the pasuk that says that the dead one also gets split? You can't split a dead carcass, well, that's redundant. You can't split a carcass that's worth nothing, right? So where do you get that from? So pachas shepachsu misa machzin b'chai. Basically, the how do you call it? Depreciation, right? For those big tax people. Right, the depreciation of the animal that died comes out from the live one, right? Meaning, what it means is that the person whose shor got damaged will take half his money from the shor that damaged him, right? Meaning, so basically, they're really not. I mean, they're arguing. It's not going to be so clear from the next Gemara's kasha, from the Gemara's next kasha of what it's of what exactly the nafkamina is. But the point is, the Rameir is saying is that you can even be mekayim the pasuk where the animal that was gored is worthless, right? And you're still mekayim that you're splitting each one in half. So the Gemara asks, Michti, Bein Rameir, Bein Rabbi Yehuda, whether we're going to Rameir or we're going to Rabbi Yehuda, high may of the Esrim v'chamisha shekel, the high may of the Esrim v'chamisha shekel, like we said in the Mishnah. Each one's ending up with 125. My benayu, so what's the difference between them? Right? Meaning in the case where the shor is worth 50, each one's ending up, according to Rameir, Sai according to Rabbi Yehuda, each one is ending up with 125. Again, we'll just do it quickly. Each shor was worth 200. Then one gored the other one, and now it's only worth 50. So now they split. According to both opinions, they're going to split each one in half. So this shor was worth 50, so each one gets 25. And the shor that damaged was worth 200, so each one gets 100. So 125 to each. That's going according to Rabbi Yehuda, and that's going according to Rameir. So what is the machlokes? So, right, so my beinayu, what's the difference between them? So Amar Rava, the decay of the animal from when it got gored until it went to Bezdin is the difference between them. Rameir savar the nizakavi. Rameir holds that the decay of the nevela is all on the nizik's head. It's his problem, meaning at the time of the damage, he's going to get, again, using our example, that at the time of the damage, the carcass is worth 50, and now it goes down to be worth 25. So the mizik is saying, give me another $12.50. And the mazik says, no, that when it decay went off in your rishus. So Rameir Paskin, the taka goes off in his rishus and he loses out. Right? Rabbi Yehuda savar pchas nevela the mazik havi palga. Right? The pchas nevela goes to the mazik in half, meaning it gets split. Meaning it's, let's say it was worth 50 and then it goes down to 25. So then that 25 gets split evenly also between the mazik and the nizik. So it comes out that Rabbi Yehuda is much more machmir, at least from the mazik's point of view. So Gemara says, Amarle Abaye, Im Kain Matzino Rabbi Yehuda. If that's the case, then we see according to Rabbi Yehuda, Tam Chomer Mimuad. Tam is more chomer than muad, right? Why? Because by a muad, what did we say? We said way back. I don't know what daf it was. Rashi said. So muad is when the worth of the dead body of the animal goes down, then it's all the problem of the mazik, right? Meaning, if the mazik damaged, if the mazik's cow damaged a cow, now it's only worth 100. So he did 100's worth of damage. And then the price of the animal goes down to 50. So we said that the mazik is going to have to pay up. He's going to have to pay up, right? That's by mu'ud. But by tam, he's saying, I'm sorry, I said the other way around. If he does not have to pay it by mu'ud, when the animal gets killed, right, and now the meat is deteriorating, the price is deteriorating, that's all the guy who got damaged's fault. Not fault, but it's his achrayus. But in the case of mu'ud here, we're saying that it goes under the achrayus of the damager. So you see that he's much more strict on the damager by tam than by mu'ud. But we know by definition, tam is more makel than mu'ud, right? So how can you say here that tam is more machmir? So Gemara says v'chite mahachanami on the top line on Mem Lamed Aleph Beis. V'chite mahachanami. They're going to say, yes, that's true. Because we know that when they do a shmira, when you're a shmira on the mu'ud, so the mu'ud he's not going to be responsible for because he did a shmira. Even if it was just a minimal amount of shmira, it works. But for the tam, it's not considered a proper shmira. So you see that there's already a stringency from tam over mu'ud. Again, if the guy does a proper shmira, even if it's not the greatest shmira, but a shmira that suffices, and then the animal goes and damages, so for the tam, he's going to be responsible. For the mu'ud, he's not responsible. So you see that the tam is more chomer, but Eimer Dushamas Rabbi Yehuda Leinin Shmira. The Chsivi Kroi, the pasuk discusses it. So the Shmira is more chomer by tam over mu'ud. Leinin Tashlumin Mishamas Le. But who says that he's machmer that we're more machmer by tam by payment than we are by mu'ud? But Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Eimer Yachol Shor Shav Mana. Right now again we need to have our thinking caps on, our numbers here. Shor shav mana, a shor that was worth 100. Shenogach shor shav chamesh slime. That it gored a shor that's worth 5 slime. Right? If there's 4 sela to a zuz, how's it go? 4 zuz to a sela. There's 4 zuz to a sela. So basically it's 20. So shor shav mana, a shor that's worth 100, shenogach shor shav chamesh slime. It gored a shor that's only worth 5 slime. So now here already we're talking about prices that are not the equivalent. So again, a shor worth 100 zuz gored a shor that was only worth 20 zuz. 5 slime is 20 zuz. Banaveli yof a sela. And now the dead animal, the carcass, is only worth a sela, which is 4 zuz. So basically, the damage was 16 zuz. So what do we do? This one takes half the chai and half the mace. And this one takes half of the chai and half of the mace. Right? So therefore, what's going to happen? Amrit b'chimuad lama yaitza. Why does it say muad as a separate pasuk? La'achvar alav or lahakal alav. Was it to be machvar or to be mekel? Avi amar la'achvar alav. The chayra muad was separated from tam in order to be stricter. If a muad only pays what it's damaged, tam hakal like kol shekain. So tam that's kal isn't it a kol shekain? So you see from this that you clearly see that Rabbi Yehuda holds that muad is more chomer than tam when it comes to payments, right? So now, but basically what went on here in this case, because it'll come up again, is the guy's making a profit, right? Again, let's use dollars just for simplicity's sake. A shor that was worth 100, right? So gored a shor that was worth $5, and now the nevela is worth $1, right? So now what happens? You split everything. You split the shor that's alive, and you split the shor that's dead. So the shor that's dead, each one gets 50 cents from that, and from the shor that's alive, they sell it and they split it. So that's $50. So this guy had a shor that was worth $20, and now he's getting $50, right? So he's actually turning a profit. He's turning a profit. This that he got damaged, which is exactly what people do nowadays with car accidents, right? You get into a car accident and you milk the insurance, and then you end up, right?
So that's allowed.
It's allowed. It's allowed, but the question is allowed according to Allah. So Rabbi Yehuda is saying it can't be. It just can't be. You're not meant to make money off of a damage. Well, we'll get back to that in a minute. Either way, the main point that Gemara is saying here is that you see that Rabbi Yehuda clearly says that when it comes to payment, a muad is more strict than a tam. So according to the way the Gemara just said it now, a tam is actually more strict than a muad, because by a tam, if there's the deterioration of the meat, according to the way Rabbi Yehuda is being said right now, the tam, that deterioration of the meat has to get swallowed, no pun intended, has to get absorbed. By the time it gets absorbed by the mazik, and by a muad, it gets absorbed by the nizik. So it's clearly more chomer. So how can it be? So the Gemara changes in mind. Elo Amar Rav Yochanan. The opposite. Shvach neveli ikavinayu. Till now we were saying that if the carcass gets worth less, that would be the difference between them. Now we're saying no. If the carcass goes up in price, that would be the difference. The marsavar, the nizik kavi. The mayor says it goes to the nizik, meaning the nizik gets the benefit. Umar Savar, Palgan Rehuda says no, he gets half, it gets split the same way. Vahainu, the Kakasha Leila Rabbi Yehuda. And this was the kasha that Rabbi Yehuda asked, because Hashta, the Amrit Chas Rachman Love the Mazik, the Shaka Bishvacha. The Torah had Rahmanis on a Mazik, right? That he takes some of the Shvach, meaning Yochel, Shor Shava Chomesh Slime. Here we go again. You have a shor that's worth 5 slime, right? Shenogach shor Shava Mana, and this is the opposite case of the previous case. The damaging shor was worth much less. It was only worth 5. And it gored a shor, where again 5 translates into 20. So let's go with 20. It was worth 20, and it gored a shor that was worth 100. But nefela yafa chamishim zuz, and the nevela is worth 50. So basically, it went down in price by 50. So zenoitel chatzi achai v'chatzi ames, zenoitel chatzi achai v'chatzi ames. In this case, you sell the animal for half, and they split that, and you sell the damaging animal, and you split that. So now what ends up happening is that the damager here actually makes money. Right? The previous case, the guy that got damaged was making money on the deal. Here, the damager is going to make money because, again, his shor was worth less. Meaning, if you're going to, let's just say a mushal. If you're yeshivish at Toyota's not yeshivish. Your yeshivish Ford goes and it bangs into a Rolls Royce. Right? It smashes a Rolls Royce. And if for some reason you're going to do the damage split straight up, right? You say, oh, half the damage to the Rolls Royce, they're going to split it, and half the damage to the Ford, they're going to split. Who's going to come out? Who's going to come out of there? It's a good deal, right? It's a good deal. You just go smash into Rolls Royce. Again, this only works because of the unique characteristics of the dinim of a shor tam, right? This is the only place, as far as I know, maybe Tzroiris, that this works. Other than that, everything is more straight up. But because of the unique din of tam, that they split the damages, and the damages get split based on the damager's property, not property, but the equivalent of our ox, which is a car, right? So if they're both splitting it, so in this situation, the guy who did the damage is coming out like a bandit. So Rabbi Yehuda says, Amrit, mazik niska. Where do you ever see that a mazik is actually going to make money on the deal? That this guy should. So it can't be. And then it says another pasuk, shalim yishalim, which it says they have to surely pay. Balim, right? Mishalman vein balim noitlin. The owners, meaning the damagers, pay. They don't take. Right? They're givers, not takers. Right? Okay. So then the Gemara says, "My va'omer, what do you need a second pasuk for?" So the Gemara says, this is where there's a loss to the nizik. Where there's no loss to the nizik, you're going right? What about the standard case? Again, the shor that damaged and the shor that got damaged are worth the same amount. And then the price of the carcass went up to 30, meaning so nobody's taking a loss here. So everybody's a winner. Right, so shakal nami mazik b'shvachas. So then, if that case, if the guy that got damaged is not taking a loss, so then the guy that damaged also is allowed to make money. Shalim yishalim. That's why we're saying another pasuk. It says you pay. Bailam yishalim vein bailam noitlin bailam only pay. They don't take. You cannot come out with a profit from doing damage. Fine. So I'm going to ask the kasha. According to Rabbi Yehuda, then a tam could actually end up paying more than half of his damages. Right? But you only do half. Right? Meaning, if you have a situation where the one that gored was worth I don't know what should we say, 100, right? It would go that the shor that gored was worth 100, and it gored an ox that was worth 80, right? And now the dead body is worth 40, right? I have to make sure my number is correct. So then what was the damage? 40 zuz, right? So they're going to split 10. So now if you're going to split the one, the shor that's alive, and the shor that's dead, so what's it going to be? The shor that's alive is worth 100, so each one's going to get 50, right? And the one that's dead is worth 80, so that's going to be 40, so that's going to be 90, right? So then what's going to end up happening is that the guy that was a nizik, and then you got to give that to the nizik, right? Well, how are we going to get it that it's 100? Yeah, he's getting more than half. He's getting more than half. He's only supposed to get half of the damage. He's going to end up with more than half. So how could that be? So one answers, Islay Rabbi Yehuda The decay that went down, that the animal went down because of the how do you call it, the depreciation, gets split from the one that's alive. Meaning, so basically he's saying that in this situation, the mazik also has to take a hit on the price of the carcass going down. We know, like, how does he know that? It says the gam es a mace, and also the mace should be split. So it says, what do you mean? You already used that for something else. Didn't Rabbi Yehuda already use that pasuk to darshan that each one splits the animal that's alive and each one splits the animal that's dead? The one answers him, the pasuk should have said ve'es hames, my begam. What's begam? Shmami no tarti. So we learn out from this two, right? We learn out from this two things: that they both split the live animal and the dead animal, and also they have to split the decay in the price. Okay, that's the hard part of the daf. That is the hard part of the daf. Okay, crunch the numbers, whichever it is. This is the interesting thing to come out from the daf is that I mean the practical thing we could take is that with a short tam, the numbers can be totally skewed, which with what the damage actually happened and how much each one could actually get paid. And we say in no circumstance can the guy damaging walk out with a profit, even though if you really crunch the numbers, it's a possibility. Okay, now a little easier. Yesh chayav al ma'aser. I'm going to just go a little bit further. So like tomorrow night, we won't have to do as much. Yesh chayav al ma'aser shoyroi u'poter al ma'aser atzmai. Right, the Gemara is going to bring 5 dinim here, where the human, it's actually more makel damage, a human doing damage than an animal doing damage. Right, yesh chayav al ma'aser shoyroi u'poter al ma'aser atzmai. Those that are chayav al ma'aser shoyroi and poter al ma'aser atzmai. Poter al ma'aser shoyroi v'chayav al ma'aser atzmai. And you can have a person who's potter on the ma'aser of his shor and chayiv on his own ma'aser. Right? Meaning, so sometimes the shor is going to be more strict, and sometimes the human is going to be more strict. Ketzad, what's the case? Shore shabayish potter. If an ox embarrass somebody, then he's potter. Right? Meaning, only humans that embarrass people are chayiv for busha, not animals. For hu shabayish chayiv, but if he embarrassed, then he's chayiv. Shore shasim is ein avdei v'hibel shino. If his shor knocked out the eye, we know that an evet goes free if the master knocks out the eye or the teeth. So, but let's say the shor did it. He's potter, meaning he doesn't have to pay the slave, right? But if he knocks out his evet's eye or his teeth, then he's chayiv. A shor that does damage to a guy's father and mother, he's going to be chayiv. For who? Meaning not the shor, the owner. But if a guy goes and hits his parents, he's actually potter on the damage, and the reason for that is because he's chayiv misa. So it's kamle b'derav. Right? It's a little. I don't want to call it misleading, but he is chayiv for his parents. It's just he's potter because he has a different issur that's there. It's not pshat that it's actually worse for an animal to hit his parents than for him. He's worse because he's going to get killed, but he's just not going to have to pay the damage. Shorish hidluk is a gadish b'Shabbos chayiv. All right, a shor lights up a gadish on Shabbos, he's chayiv. But who shidluk is a gadish b'Shabbos potter? But if he goes and lights up a whole field, then he's going to be potter. Why? Because he's chayiv misa on the Shabbos. Come live in Rabbi, right? Because in these cases he's chayiv in his nefesh. So these are the 5 cases where the shor is going to be chayiv and the human is going to be potter. So Gemara says, Tani Rabbi Bava made the Rabbi Yochanan. This is one of the most biggest misunderstandings in Hilchos Shabbos. Kol ha'mekalkel in Peturin. Anytime you do destruction on Shabbos, it's potter chutz mechayvel u'mav, except when you give a wound to somebody and you burn something. Those two are considered destructive, but you'd be chayiv. All other destruction, you're potter. That's what people think. Oh, I can open this bottle, I could smash down this door, I could smash it, because it's all destruction. Notice it says potter. It doesn't say mutter. It says potter, meaning you're not chayiv anything. Kilkul on Shabbos is not mutter. It's usher. It's just you're not chayiv. Like people say, oh, let me here. I'm playing with my cup and I'm going to smash it and I'm going to cut it up. And, oh, it's kilkul. So what? It's you're still not allowed to do it, right? It's your potter, but you're not allowed to do it. Okay, so Amar Lei, so Rav Yochanan told the back, take it outside. Meaning you're wrong. This that you said that you're chayiv for chayvel and chayiv for the destruction of chayvel and you're chayiv for the destruction of burning something up. It's not a mishnah and it's not true. You potter too. It's a mishnah, and if you do say that it's a mishnah, whatever that means, meaning if you're going to say that it is true that chayvel is chayiv, that's only when you need it for your dog, meaning when you need the blood for the dog. So therefore, even though you're doing destruction by cutting something open, but since you need the blood, so then you're going to be chayiv for that. The mavir is tzarich le'efroi. Mavir is when it says mavir is chayiv, it's somewhere where you need ashes. Meaning normally when you light a fire, you need the light, right? But you don't particularly care for anything to be burned. You just need light. But if you need ashes, then you're very happy for it to be burned. So that's what he's saying that you would be chayiv. So Tanan, Shari Shiddik is a Gaddish b'Shabbos chayiv. The Mishnah says that a shar lights up a field on Shabbos is chayiv, meaning the human, the os is chayiv. Who Shiddik is a Gaddish b'Shabbos potter, but if the human does it, he's potter. B'Katani hu domi the shayra, and we learn that we compare the human to the shar. Ma shayra delay kabayle. The shar doesn't need to be burning the when he burns down the field. He doesn't need it. He's not doing it for any particular reason. He doesn't need the ashes. On Tamar Aleph now, Afhu Nami delay kabayla. It's talking about where he didn't need it either. Yet you still see the Katani potter Mekneshu Nida Benashe. He's still potter because he's being chayiv misa. So you see that a person is chayiv misa for burning something on Shabbos, even if he didn't need the ashes. So this is a kasha of Rav Yochanan. Rav Yochanan said that the only time the Mishnah would say that you're chayiv for burning something on Shabbos is if you need the ashes. From our Mishnah, it's clear somebody is chayiv misa even if he didn't need the ashes. Right? So the Gemara answers it's the opposite. The shar is similar to the man. Mahu, the kabayle, just like a man, is only chayiv when he needs the ashes. Af shoyroi, but meaning he's only chayiv for burning something on Shabbos when he needs the ashes. Af shoyroi the kabayle. Shoyroi also is only when he needs the ashes. So I'm going to ask, how can you find a shar that's burning a field? This is a fascinating Gemara right here. I don't know what the scientists have to say about it. Rachamim, I don't know what Yeshver would say about this, if you're out there. So how do you find that a shar is burning a field that it needs ashes? Amalei Rav Avi, so Rav Avi told him, the shar pikeach, also in the shicha begava. You have a shar that's pikeach. Rashi says he's a chacham, he's a smart shar, right? And he has a cut on his back. And he wants to burn ashes so he could roll in it so that for some reason, I guess the ashes are therapeutic. And how are you going to know that that's what the shar is doing? Because after the shar goes, brings a fire to the field, burns the field, and then goes and rolls in the ashes. So clearly you see that this shar is a smart shar, and it's going to be therapeutic. So that would be a scenario where the shar is smart enough, and he's burning the field because he needed ashes. So Gemara says, do you have such a situation where a shar knows that what it's doing and it does enough to take care of itself medically? So Gemara says, in the Hutura, there was a shar by Rav Papa's house. He had pain in his teeth. Ayil upaskel in his yasa. So it went and he pushed off the cover of a barrel, right? V'shasi shifra v'itzi, and then it drank beer, and it got healed. So you see from this that there's such a concept of a shar knowing that it could get healed. So that's what we're saying here. That's what the Gemara is saying here. that our Mishnah is talking about, according to Rabbi Yochanan, where the shor actually knew what it was doing, right? So that's even a few more lines. Can we say that a shor is similar to the human? A shor embarrasses somebody, it's potter. But if the human is mevayish, somebody is chayav. Shor dumi didei, and a shor is similar to him. This chavan levayish heichim eshkachas lo. If a shor is similar to a human, how do you have a shor that has kavanah to embarrass somebody? So my answer is Giganchin is Chavan Lahazik. Somewhere where the shor went after somebody with the intention of damaging him. If somebody has kavanah to damage, even though he did not have kavanah to embarrass him, there is a chiyuv of busha. So as long as the shor went after the guy, then there's a chiyuv of busha. Okay. I know we want to stick a little over time, but it's yeah. Okay, let's see some Tillim.